This is Olbermann versus Trump, and I'm not Trump. Trump is hoping for the slightest, just barely plausible opening tonight to declare victory, to dare Biden and the Democrats to prove otherwise in court, and to dog whistle to his brown shirts to enact, in Trump's own words, bedlam in our country. This cannot be overstated. Trump is planning a coup by television, another melodrama from the pages of reality TV. Jason Miller, Trump's evil, stay-puffed marshmallow man but with a beard, goes on this week and says many smart Democrats believe Trump will be ahead on election night and then they're going to steal it back after the election, which A, confirms the Trump plan, declare victory on election night based on merely being ahead before all votes are counted, and then announce that the election is over. No mail-in votes, no recounts, nothing. But also, it confirms B. This is not something you say if you actually believe you are going to legitimately win the election. Then come the anonymous Trump confidants who told Axios that if Trump has won or is just leading in Ohio, Florida, Texas, North Carolina, Arizona, and Georgia, he will try to pull off his coup. Trump has, quoting, plans to walk up to a podium on election night and declare he has won. Trump himself gave away stage two, and quoting him directly, we're going in the night of, as soon as the election is over, we're going in with our lawyers. And stage three, Trump predicted weeks of bedlam if the outcome is not decided tonight. It is another dog whistle like Liberate Michigan. He means, obviously, that he wants his brown shirts to cause bedlam. This form of coup d'etat, the Rosie Ruiz, named for the woman who declared she won the Boston Marathon in 1980, only then it turned out she had only run the last mile of the race, is a common enough tactic in the totalitarian countries of this world. Declare victory and put the onus on the real winner to prove the opposite in court, and fix the courts if you can. Next Monday, it will have been going on like this for 3 months in the nation of Belarus. There are two flaws built into Trump's version, of course. First, it depends on the Supreme Court joining his conspiracy to overthrow the Constitution of the United States. And to that point, rather inconveniently, new Justice Barrett and Justice Kavanaugh and Chief Justice Roberts all became Republican heroes in 2000 as lawyers on George W. Bush's legal challenge against Al Gore. And one of the primary Barrett-Kavanaugh-Roberts arguments to the Supreme Court 20 years ago was that all properly cast mail-in ballots must be counted. Oops. The second flaw is military voting. To come to some anti-democracy rationalization that voting ends at 11:59 p.m. tonight is to throw out the military absentee mail ballot deadlines. The earliest is the one in the Texas state next Monday. Pennsylvania's is not until the 10th. Florida's is not until the 13th. This would not only smell bad for Trump's supporters, it could materially hurt Trump in the vote count in all three of those states. The most resounding solution to this coup attempt, obviously, is a fast and strong Biden victory that leaves Trump with nothing more than a vow that he will be the nominee in 2024 and he will keep running until then. As to the prospects of that Biden victory, I will not further agitate you or myself with more poll numbers. They are genuinely significantly stronger for Joe Biden now than they were for Hillary Clinton then, and more importantly this time, the down ballot races in the states are entirely consistent with Biden's performance on a state-by-state basis. Florida, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Texas are still not certain and still vital. I cannot go very far into the numerical scenarios without quickly proving why my teachers were so horribly, horribly wrong when they mistook me for a math prodigy in the year 1964. I would commend to you, though, the New York Times polling page and the third graph down on the right. It is literally labeled electoral votes if state polls are as wrong as they were in 2016. So I'm not doing the math, but I can give you some insight as to the stuff going on behind the scenes at the TV networks today. By no later than 6 p.m. Eastern, the first wave of the exit polls will be in and will have been analyzed separately by the polling guru of each outlet. These are not the people you see on the air. Each studio anchor, many key reporters, some analysts, and all the executives will listen in on a conference call and be reminded that releasing any of that data or conclusions is forbidden. Many who hear this will immediately text their friends, something like first exit poll data coming in 1 minute, and then they will share what are inevitably damaged interpretations. In 2004, John Kerry had a strong national lead after the first wave of exit polls, and 4 years to the minute later, McCain and Obama were virtually tied. I have heard these briefings in which the numbers crunchers say, we will be able to call these states when the polls closed, and the Electoral College count will begin at such and such numbers. But what the analysts will get to emphasize, as they will emphasize at sundown tonight, is that the first wave of exit polls shows heavy turnout here, or low turnout by that demographic group there. It will produce stats that can be used on air almost immediately about why voters voted: economy, COVID, corruption, and it can then estimate which candidate was favored for each issue group. It just can't count votes. That's what you'll see and hear until the polls close. After the debacle of the TV coverage in 2000, the networks were terrified of repeating the nightmare of conclusions and retractions and disaster. And every hour since that date, they have been terrified further of being seen as not balanced. They are worn out by years of endless complaining from the far right. This constant harangue has erased the equally important truth expressed by John Stuart Mill in 1867. Let not anyone pacify his conscience by the delusion that he can do no harm if he takes no part and form no opinion. Bad men need do nothing more to compass their ends than that good men should look on and do nothing. And in that comes their greatest test. For Trump's coup to have a chance, all the networks must put him on live. He needs to, and I will repeat the imagery from yesterday, burn into America's retinas this image of him claiming victory live on all networks. And I'll repeat another phrase from yesterday. This act would give him the immoral high ground. We will see if the networks have the courage to be more than stenographers. They took that brave course after Trump tried to sling his Ukraine mud at Biden, just as he slung his mud at Hillary Clinton 4 years ago. This time they did not take that bait, and the story died. Trump's victory claim would not suffocate without live coverage by ABC, CBS, NBC, CNN, PBS. But without that oxygen, nor would it be able to explode into a conflagration that would consume this democracy. Good night and good luck.